Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about 50 Cent. Now it looks like 50 Cent had a concert in St. Louis and things got a little crazy, man. And when I say got crazy, I'm talking about it was shooting going on outside the club, man. Now 50 Cent, for those of you who don't know, is a veteran in this rap game. He's pretty much transitioned all the way over to producing movies and TV shows. And he's been fairly successful in doing this, man. And to say he's been fairly successful seems like I'm not giving him his credit. Dude has been on it. Like ever since he left the rap game and said, forget it, I'm going to focus on making TV shows, he's been wildly successful, man. He's got a couple of different shows out there and a couple of different shows that are coming. Like he had the Power series and he's got so many spinoffs of that. Next, he got the BMF. But it looks like he still takes time to do concert shows and spot ups. Now, I know he usually has like these liquor brands that sponsor a lot of the things that he does. So we can all put it together that 50 Cent is out here getting his bag. Now, when he was in the St. Louis area, it looks like there was some type of issue recently, man. There was a shooting, a double shooting where two people got hit. But man, before we get to the specifics of this case and talk about the suspect, man, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this whole 50 Cent situation in a place called St. Peters, Missouri. Now, I'm not familiar with St. Peters, Missouri, but it's saying it's in the St. Louis area. And I'm going to be referencing a story from MSNBC or whatever, man. So they got a story and the headline says this. It says, shooting victim runs inside 50 Cent concert for help near St. Louis. Now, based on that headline, we can already say that, hey, somebody got shot or there was shooting taking place outside of the concert, right? Now, the story says this. It says, a man shot in a parking lot outside of a venue where rapper 50 Cent was performing in the greater St. Louis area last night. The victim reportedly ran inside the concert venue looking for help. The shooting happened in the parking lot of the Diamond Music Hall in St. Peters around 12:30 a.m. Tuesday, according to multiple reports, authorities told Fox 2 the victim ran into the club where 50 Cent was performing. So it looks like 50 Cent was performing in the club, doing this thing as usual, and some people started to run into the club because it was some shooting outside of the club. Now, the story puts it out there that 50 Cent, it looks like he didn't have any involvement in the situation or wasn't aware when the shooting started to take place. You know what I mean? Now, the story continues by saying this. He was shot in the arm and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the shooting started after an argument started in the parking lot. The venue owners say the altercation didn't have anything to do with the concert. So basically letting it be known that the altercation that took place had nothing to do with 50 Cent. 50 Cent was doing what he does. He was rocking the stage, and there's footage of that and everything. So man, let's actually get to the news report before we get to the second part of this story.
St. Peters police are investigating a shooting outside the Diamond Music Hall. That's near Interstate 70 in Cave Springs. Police tell us that someone was asked to leave the venue after causing a disturbance. When that person got outside, a fight ensued and a man was shot. And this happened shortly after midnight. That man is expected to survive. The shooting happened when the music hall was still open. It was a packed house, too, as 50 Cent was performing.
Okay, well, there's a couple of things that we heard in that CBS report right there. So obviously there was a guy who was getting into some type of confrontation with maybe security or something like that, and it responded to another fight, and he was either trying to get into the venue or being kicked out of the venue. Either way, he was asked to leave, and this was all while 50 Cent was rocking the stage. You know what I mean? It was like a good turnout. Looked like a lot of people were out there enjoying themselves, and then chaos struck. Now, somebody started shooting, and I'm going to reference another report from the CBS News, and it talks about the latest developments in this situation because they believe that they caught the suspect or the shooter, alleged shooter, I should say, in this situation or in this case. So the headline of this story reads this. It reads, Overland man charged for shooting outside St. Peter's bar following 50 Cent performance. So obviously this is the guy that they assume was the shooter in the 50 Cent situation at that St. Peter's bar in Missouri or in the St. Louis area, right? Now it continues by saying this. A man from Overland has been charged following a shooting outside a St. Peter's bar on August 31st. St. Peter's police said 39-year-old Keith Johnson of Overland was asked to leave the Diamond Music Hall on North Cloverleaf Drive after causing a disturbance around 12:30 a.m. Once outside, he got into a fight and took out a gun. He began shooting, and a man and a female were struck, police said. The man was hit in the arm, and the woman was wounded by the bullet in her foot. Both victims received medical treatment and have been released from the hospital. So stop right there. So this gentleman by the name of Keith Johnson, they're alleging that he shot two people because he was asked to leave the venue, and he ended up just started shooting. I don't know why he shot these two people specifically, or were they just in the way, innocent bystanders? It doesn't say that, but it looks like they both ended up making it. Nobody lost their life or anything like that. It was like non-life-threatening gun wounds or bullet wounds or whatever you want to call it, right? So the story finishes by saying this: Johnson is charged with first-degree assault, second-degree assault, and 2 counts of armed criminal action. He is being held at the St. Charles County Jail on a $75,000 bond. Rapper 50 Cent performed inside the Diamond Music Hall that night. According to the venue's website, he was a part of an event that was scheduled from 7 p.m. to midnight. So it seems like the shooting took place right after the event with 50 Cent was over, because they're saying it took place at 12:30 a.m., right? Or at least that's when the fight started, where he was asked to leave, the alleged suspect in this situation, right? So now he's sitting in a St. Charles County jail, and his bond is $75,000. Luckily, nobody lost their life in this situation, because his bond would be a lot higher, and he'd probably have a lot more to worry about in the future with this case. But my question is, what do you guys think about the fact that 50 Cent, he kind of, it's not even like he brought this energy on him, but, you still make headlines if you're a rapper and there's a shooting situation at an event that you are performing. If anything goes down, even if you're not involved, you're on stage, you doing your business. Let's be real, man. 50 Cent is at the point in his career and the point of being a mogul where he's almost untouchable, not to say that anybody's untouchable, because anybody can be touched, right? Anybody can fall from grace. Anybody can lose their money, all that, right? But 50 Cent is in a place where it's like, people have come at him in so many different ways. He's even got his own little situation going on currently where he made some comments that a lot of people aren't feeling, but it seems like he's a hard dude to cancel. And it makes you wonder, why is that? Now, this situation has nothing to do with 50 Cent, obviously, based on all the stories, based on the testimony of the people who were there, based on what the police said to the news outlets. It looked like 50 Cent had nothing to do with this except for the fact that his name was on the marquee. Now, besides all that, I think he's going to just go through this unscathed like any other situation that 50 Cent is involved in. Now, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that 50 Cent is uncancelable? And do you think that situations like this should be reported with the rapper's name, especially if they're not even involved? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.